I'm going to be talking to you in this video about holistic fertility. So that's the intro to holistic fertility, and as well as fertility cleanses, which I'm going to tie it all in, and you're going to see having comment in how this can help you to conceive, improve your fertility, improve your quality in order to get the baby that you want so wonderfully. Okay, cool. We're not going to use that word, right? Anyways, in this video, of course, my daughter's gonna come in right now and start messing with stuff. Go get it. Gosh. All right, so like I said, I want to touch on some of the principles or the concepts between of holistic fertility, so that way you can have an idea whether this is the route that you want to go. Because one of the reasons that this video is so important is that a lot of women are not being given their options. You're not told that you have options. When you ask maybe your doctor questions, they don't want to, or they cannot provide you with answers or information because they haven't been trained in holistic medicine, alternative medicine, which to me really is original and ancient medicine, right? Or ancient for modern medicine, right? And so holistic medicine are what I'm about to talk to you in this video as well. Fertility cleanses. Okay, this is one of the options that you have available to you, and I really want you to dig in and take notes and, you know, open your mind, be open-minded to this idea, because it is one that a lot of women don't know, as well as even if you have heard of fertility cleanses before, like I once did, you may know how to do a fertility cleanse, you know, or way, and you may be having a hard time finding, you know, this protocol or this system, right? So in this video, I want to just touch on what are some holistic fertility principles and how you can use something like a fertility cleanse to incorporate fertility into your life. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Natty Winter. I am a fertility coach, have been for about since 2017. So I don't know, that's like 7 years or something. I'm not doing the math right now, but I've been on this journey. I've actually always been interested in birth work, in productive healthcare, and things like that ever since I was like a little midwifery into wanting to be a midwife, which turned into a doula. And so I've been helping people to have babies, helping people to improve fertility, get rid of things like fibroids, cysts on ovaries, and just improving overall fertility. And so one of the ways that I have helped some of my clients to do this is to show them or teach them how to do certain holistic practices that include things like a fertility cleanse and a lot of things. So I just want to focus on fertility cleanses, okay, because this is something that I think a lot of people really struggle with. Like, we know that, okay, a fertility smoothie, you throw a couple things in the blender, and it's really not that, like, you really want to be a little more specific, but you know, for the most part, you can get away with throwing some fruits and vegetables in a blender, and that can help you out a bit if you're consistent and, you know, you stick to it and you have some amazing recipes that really, really taste good that you enjoy. However, when it comes to something like fertility cleanse, this is kind of like what I think of as a step above just a, you know, like a regular fertility smoothie or anything like that. It's a little bit, it involves a little bit more than that. And so it's really important when you are doing something like a fertility cleanse to, again, understand certain concepts as to, like, you know, why maybe you can't eat certain things that maybe you can while you're doing a smoothie challenge or while you're drinking fertility smoothie. When you're doing a fertility cleanse, it's really important that, again, you take into consideration a lot of other aspects of your life, your lifestyle, your you know, what you're eating, what you're thinking. And so we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So let me just introduce one of the main principles or concepts about holistic fertility, which is the mind, body, soul concept, okay, or principle, right? And so with the mind, body, soul principle, This is factoring in that how you think, state of your body, your emotional well-being, your spirituality, and your overall energy. Okay, it takes into consideration all of that. So unlike conventional medicine, which simply looks at the symptoms, okay, are you coughing, are you bleeding, are you having pain, are you having certain other things where they can diagnose you, or they can label you or give some medication for. Unlike conventional medicine, holistic fertility, the holistic approach takes in the whole body. It takes in your overall wellness, your overall well-being, and then from that you can get a better sort of more tailored approach, or protocol that can be tailored to you as to how you can improve your unique fertility challenges. Okay, and so with holistic fertility, when we're talking about the mind, body, soul principle, again, that means that where you're being, in my case, I would want to assess your thoughts. A lot of women have very negative thoughts when it comes to fertility. When you've been struggling for fertility for a long time, you may have some thoughts or some repeating negative self-affirmations that are getting in the way of you having a positive fertility journey, a positive experience while you are on your journey to improve fertility. And so some of these thoughts can look like something like, I'm too old to have a baby, I waited too long, my eggs are no good. It can be like, my body is not working, my womb is broken, or my body is broken. And so if these are thoughts that are playing in the back of your mind, okay, and they're on repeat day after day after day, every time you get your period, every time you see someone with a baby, every time you start something, and then you realize that here, pass it. Every time that you maybe start something and then you stop, maybe these thoughts might be the reason why you stop, or they come up. No, it's okay. Is it being charged? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Maybe these are the you deciding what your next step is, or fell off for a while. When these pervasive thoughts continue to become a pattern and a habit, it can really affect how you again go about your your fertility journey, whether you're going to get right back on or not, whether you are going to assess where you are at on your journey, maybe change some things, maybe improve some things, maybe get support in areas that you're struggling with. If your mindset is not right about whatever your challenges are on your fertility journey, that can affect you physically. Now we're just talking right now just about your mindset on your fertility journey. There could be other things in your life that are going on, okay, that you have to think about, that you are maybe stressing over, that you are constantly dealing with mentally, right? That can affect you physically. So if you are constantly stressed out about something, constantly not able to have good thoughts towards maybe something that you are having to constantly do, go to work, or deal with certain people in your life. If you're constantly having again, negative self-talk, these negative habits, just go back and wait for these negative habits, again, they can manifest physically in the body. So mental stress, okay, can manifest itself physically in the body. And so now we're going to talk about the body aspect, right? And so when we're talking about holistic fertility, and we're talking about the physical body, your physical body has ways in which it filters information, whether whether again the negative thoughts are taken on sort of like a physical manifestation in your body. So mental stress can turn into physical stress, especially on the cellular level. And if we remember that the egg cells of the cell in the body, if your egg cells are being damaged by stress, okay, then now your egg cells can physically maybe not be able to produce healthy for eggs to be fertilized this month, or even if they are fertilized, the stress can maybe prevent them from attaching to the uterine lining and so forth, right? Now, beyond that, if you have like chronic stress, okay, or even damage to your physical body, if there's been damage to your physical body, maybe you hurt yourself in your womb area, um, this physical damage or physical stress, again, it can affect your ability to conceive, or at least your ability to conceive when you want, or right now, right? And so your physical body also plays a role in your overall like this, we know this, right? But what I really want to touch on is how not only can sort of psychological events affect your physical body, but also how that there is different ways that your physical body can either hinder or help you on your fertility journey. So we talked a little bit about some of like the the not so good things that could happen that could affect your fertility, but there you also have to support you in a little bit in the end. But I just want to just talk a little bit more about the physical. There's also what we have, what we call womb trauma, and womb trauma. This can affect you from having, even if you have not experienced real sort of physical trauma, it can still manifest itself physically. So, for example, if you've had negative sexual experiences, if you've damage to your reproductive organs, things like maybe surgeries that didn't go well, or if you even just had not the healthiest relationships. And when we talk about womb trauma, we also talk about womb trauma from our mother and from our mother's mother. And I did about this right before I made this one. I'm probably loaded. I don't know why I did it, but where I talked about the thing is that woman, we store negative energy, right? And the reason why we do this is for us to work it out. Like, it's stored in our heart, right? Because normally we would have, what again, my opinion, what I believe, we would have practices in place, we would have rituals, just think about what's happening in Africa, dances, there is regular rituals, healing practices, and things like that. Okay, I think inherently, womb trauma, things like that, can manifest itself physically as PCOS, endometriosis, poor egg quality, and adenomyosis, endometriosis. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but yeah. So different experiences, childhood. So your womb is covered in a fat tissue cells, and so this is an area that already. So yeah, those are some examples of how you can take on your womb, even if it's not necessarily directly related to physical womb trauma, right? And so again, even outside of womb trauma, well, you can go to sleep, baby. You gotta wait though. Even outside of direct damage or trauma to your womb or your reproductive organs, you can also experience, pain and things that affect other parts of your body that can affect your fertility. So a good example of this is something like maybe if you had like a tragic accident, or maybe if you have like other chronic pain in your body, you could have another chronic disease. Maybe you have a lung infection, maybe you have other like cancer, things like this, other diseases that are not directly related to your womb or your reproductive organs. or injuries or things like this, if you have like these other injuries or these other chronic things going on in your body, it can affect your fertility, because instead of energy going towards your eggs, your womb, your ovaries, and implantation and conception and fertilization and all of that, now energy is going towards healing the part of you that is sick or injured, right, or damaged, or whatever the case may be for your unique experience, right? And so there's so many ways that physically our fertility can be affected, whether it is directly related to the womb or not. I need you to stop. I'm not right now, right? And so that touches on the physical aspect. Then we have the soul or the spiritual aspect. And this part, it can get a little deep and it can get a little unique, but it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be something that is unreachable. So when we're talking about spirituality, number one, your medical doctor is not going to delve there. They're not necessarily going to go there unless they are already someone who is very cultured themselves and really, really made an effort to take that into consideration and into account, right? The spirituality aspect of holistic fertility, I will say that this can include, your own unique journey, like your own sort of passage in being, where you are on your spiritual journey, if you sort of have one, how connected you are and in tune you are with sort of your own spiritual journey, or your own, I will say, like your connection to being here on your calling, your gifts, your ability, what it is that your overall sort of reason for being here on the planet. And I know we don't all have the answers. Not everybody has the answers for that, but even that can sort of affect your fertility journey in a way, because if you are, for example, doing something, if you're working like a certain job that it's not in alignment with you, if you're like in a relationship that's not in alignment, if you are in an environment, or an overall sort of like, just headspace, just like if there's like an overall sort of thing you're dealing with, I'll just say that, lifestyle, whatever the case may be, that is not in alignment with your your destiny, right? Then it may not be necessarily the stars may not allow you to be conceiving right now on doing things like that, sort of there may be a bigger reason and a bigger calling for you to do in order to sort of get your spirit right. Okay, if that makes any sense to you, right? And so, like, if you're working a certain job, again, in a certain environment, relationship that you don't necessarily it's not really in alignment with what you're here to do. You say that just because you're in a situation, in a relationship, that you can't conceive. But sometimes just by diving into that, just by tapping into, okay, this is the need here, because maybe do your own thing, right? Or to go into another field that really utilizes your skills and your talents, right? So it's not necessarily I'm not saying that, hey, if you're in this situation that you can't conceive, because I know some people will misconstrue that. That's not what I'm saying. But doing the inner work can help you, okay, to unblock some whether it's negativity in our life at some point. So when we're talking about spirituality, it doesn't always really have to be the how you feel inside, like spiritually, like, come into play when we're talking about holistic fertility. Your emotional well-being is definitely also something that is factored in here, right? And that can, the emotional well-being can kind of be something that you deal with mentally, but it can also be something that you deal with spiritually with self, But I just want to finish talking about some inner work, some shadow work, some inner child work, in order to sort of clear the way right, for your baby to come and for you to have the fertility outcome that you want. Again, something your medical doctor, the medical field, they're not going to consider, right? Now, hold on. Don't go back in the house. Turn around. Shaman, but as you can see, I'm working, I'm doing something here, right? So let's keep it going, right? Keep the good vibes going. So anyways, so we touched on the mind, body, we touched on spirituality, and just a little bit about emotional well-being. I want to sort of, I think emotional well-being, I think we can understand that a little more, but, you know, because if you're obviously, I don't know, maybe other people, we'll just touch on this for a little second. So emotional well-being can play a role in your fertility, and it's something that should be considered and is considered with the holistic fertility. That can tie into wild in your body and attack your cells. Again, let's not forget your egg cells, the largest cells, so we don't want any radical damage happening to the egg cells. If you know emotionally or on your stages, maybe sad when you see a baby or attend a baby shower or get an invitation to one and things like that. You know, this can affect your fertility. But what are the thoughts that you're having with that? You might be having thoughts that, you know, that again, you don't deserve a baby, or why do they get to have a child and you don't? You've been so good, and this person is a terrible person, you know. So if these are the thoughts that you're having, again, all of this stuff can sort of intertwine, right? Affect you physically, affect you spiritually, mentally, psychologically, all of that, right? And so your emotional well-being really is something that you can get control over, or you can sort of hone, so right? Because once you understand how it is affecting you, sort of like negative energy, or you have a sort of different outlook on life, okay, which can allow you to do more positive things for your fertility. So maybe instead of focusing on the invitation to maybe a baby shower that you got that maybe you don't feel so good about, or maybe don't have the best thoughts towards, you know, the invitees, right? Maybe instead of dwelling on that, you can take that energy after you've worked through it. So after you've worked through it, I'm not saying, hey, just go and do what I'm about to say, but after you work through it, then you can maybe take your energy and put it towards something that we know is going to improve fertility, right? So after you've worked it out, figured out why you feel this way, you know, really how it really makes you feel. How do you really feel to be thinking this way or feeling this way about X, Y, Z circumstance, right? It can work for you, or it can work against you, especially if we're unconscious about hey queen, hey sis, I see you there. I'm back. Right? So especially if you know we're doing it unconsciously. So a lot of times the emotions that we have, the thoughts, the feelings, and all these things that come up, a lot of times it's just we're unconscious about a lot of it. It's on repeat, and you know, it's just like it's just there until we make the conscious effort to step into our lives and step into our role as divine goddesses, hey, right, we're gonna say, and really take charge of your fertility. So when you decide that, you know, this is the path that you want to take, you know, then there is some responsibility that comes with that. Cause like, you know, I hear a lot of people, they say, oh, you know, they want to improve their fertility naturally, but not everybody knows what that means. Naturally has people think of naturally as cheap, you know. Oh, I'm gonna do this naturally, I'm gonna become vegan, I'm gonna go plant-based, I'm gonna do this naturally, I'm gonna do this without drugs or whatever, medication. Just because you choose the natural holistic route does not mean it's gonna be free, does not mean it's cheap, it does not mean that there's absolutely nothing for you to do other than, you know, consume something that is green, or, you know, to just think happy thoughts all the time. It does require you to have an awareness of what is required of you, and to really commit to that, right? And so holistic fertility, it really is like, it's one of the deepest commitments that you can make on your fertility journey to yourself, when you decide to commit to choosing this route, right? And so it's, you know, holistic fertility is beyond supplements, it's beyond just a cleanse, it's beyond just, you know, doing things like drinking a smoothie, because sometimes it's like we don't really take into account like just how sort of in touch and in tune you can be, or on the holistic route. Because, you know, when you're doing to the clinic, they draw your blood, they tell you how much medicine that you're going to take, you know, this appointment, and then if that doesn't work, they prescribe something stronger. And, you know, you really don't have any control over the side effects or how your body reacts to any of that. And it's kind of like, you know, I don't really want to say done for you, but you are really putting a lot of your trust, you know, a lot of your, what would otherwise be your responsibility, you're putting that in the hands of sometimes complete strangers. You're putting your health in complete strangers' hands. However, with a holistic approach, you know, you're taking out that magnifying glass, and you're looking into all the nooks and crannies of your life, and you are, you know, you're analyzing and assessing, hey, what do I need to do to improve this? How can I make this better? And it's like, as you focus and work on all of these different little areas, you know, why did I think that way about XYZ? The pain maybe in my leg, have I been ignoring it? Do I need to massage it? Is there something I can do, some oils or something, some essential oils or something I can use? My digestion, how has my digestion been? You know, how frequently am I experiencing X, Y, or Z? My, you know, my nutrition levels, have I really been taking into consideration, you know, what I'm eating? Am I optimizing my diet? I'll call it a living. Okay, am I optimizing my living? Right? Are you optimizing your diet? Are you just eating anything and just still hoping for the best? Because I've seen that before. Why do I have to change my diet? Why do I have to change my lifestyle? Okay, you know, you really don't. You don't have to choose the holistic method. You don't have to change your lifestyle, your diet, or anything like that. But if you continue to do some of the things you do, you might get the same result, right? So far we talked about mind, body, spirituality, even touched on emotional wellness, okay? And so that kind of touches the mind, body, soul aspect. But there is one more aspect that I want to talk about, which we kind of already touched on, and that is your energetic frequency, right? So your energetic frequency is like a layer above everything we just mentioned. You know, what energy do you really have going into this? What energy are you giving off? You know, or have you really embraced, you know, the holistic aspect? You know, are you ready to sort of really go through with this in a open mind? You know, with you know, there could be challenges. There's definitely could be challenges on your fertility journey. But I think, and I know that when, like, most of the clients that I speak to that actually conceived a baby, they were in a very high frequency mode, and experienced setbacks. But I find that my clients, the ones that are really to deal with, really were committed on their fertility journey. Their energy was right, their frequency was right. Whereas, you know, there could be some people who, it's like, you know, they just have a very sort of I don't want to say negative energy, but like it's just there's you can sense blockages out. Like, I can sense certain blockages, certain undealt with emotions, misdirected certain energies and things like that, right? And this, I'm not saying you have to come in, oh, it's a flower, butterflies, and roses and all that. But at least when you're on your holistic fertility journey, it does require some degree of sort of submitting almost, and to sort of the possibilities that life has to offer. And that this will, I feel like for fertility issues and challenges, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to really, really connect with yourself. It's an opportunity for you to explore deeper areas of your life that the conventional medicine does not require you to do, and does not want you to. They do not want you to learn how to take care of your womb. They don't want you to learn how to improve your fertility, because if you can improve your fertility, you can help somebody improve hers and his and hers and hers and his, and then there will be more of us, okay? When we know that there's like an undertone to, like, I mean, it's a reason why infertility is on the rise. It's a reason. This is not an accident. And I say the further and further we get away from not even just holistic fertility, but I want to say like ancestral, ritual, femininity based practices, the further and further we get away from that, the more and more problems we're going to have, the more infertility, the more sort of masculine our roles become as women, the more that is required for us to take on roles and duties and do things that is not within the feminine balance, then the more we will have infertility, because if roles are being switched, then we're talking about hormones, as above, so below. And the same thing, so I talked a lot about how these negative things can affect your fertility, and even how you can use positive things to enhance fertility within the same concepts. You could positive mindset, a positive, healthy sort of body, a positive, healthy, emotional well-being. Yes, these things can help you. However, on an energetic frequency or energetic aspect as well, which is not always talked about when we talk about holistic medicine or holistic fertility, but I am talking about this because it's a very big part of like how I teach my programs and women's fertility. But on an energetic aspect, your frequency, even as far as like how well you are sort of doing or operating or vibing in your, within your sort of nature, if that makes any sense, your energy within how you are operating, okay? If it is off, if you are taking on other roles, that you're not supposed to be, that can throw off your hormones, it can throw off your fertility. And so this is also an aspect that needs to be considered, because a lot of times it's not, you have and we wonder why certain celebrities, no matter how feminine they may appear on stage and in front of the camera, if their life is very masculine, because they're constantly having to show up for events, or not getting proper sleep, have to work out extra hard in the gym to have this physique, and all this muscle tone. Sometimes that not only their energetic, frequency. We're gonna do that in a minute. The throat frequency is a divine feminine being, which is tied into this energetic, your femininity in your sort of energetic frequency. So if how you're living your life, if your lifestyle is not within the frequency of fertility, I'll say that, okay? If your lifestyle does not fit into the frequency of fertility, then it can affect your ability to conceive, right? So facts, yes sis. So that's Mystery Baby. So go follow her. She has wonderful shea butter. And I have known this woman for a long time. So if your frequency does not fit within the realms of fertility, if it's not conducive to fertility, how are you going to conceive? You know, how are you going to force your body? Because that's what the medical industry really is trying to do. They're trying to force your body to conceive with drugs, with medication, surgery, and these things have very negative side effects. So you can try to force, but it's only so far that you can go with forcing your body with drug surgery and, you know, the things that they give to you, you know. So that's why there's so many side effects, so much horror stories, and in some instances, the things that they do to try to help you to have a baby or get you to have a baby or force actually can hinder you from ever conceiving a baby, right? So it's almost like you kind of got one shot. Either, and if you got more than one shot, it's probably gonna cost you a whole lot. Okay, like I think I've been rhyming on this for a bit now. Okay, so if you go to Instagram, girl, this phone, I can. Thank you, babes. Okay, I miss you, sisters. So I can't even see on this phone. This phone on my Instagram. So, yes, but you can go check out my sister over there on Instagram, Mystery Baby. So like I was saying, your frequency can throw off your fertility. So far we talked about the mind, body, soul, and I've added frequency or energy. Your mind, body, soul, and energy is a holistic approach to improving your fertility. And when you go on this journey, when you are consciously choosing and aware that this is what you want, I want you to remember that, again, it encompasses your whole being. It's not just, oh, you know, you didn't conceive this month, here's some drugs, or, you know, your blood is showing that your FSH is high or low, let's give you this medication to force it to adjust, or, you know, you have fibroids, let's cut them out. That does not take into consideration how the fibroids got there in the first place, why they grow, why they continue to grow, and same with endometriosis. It doesn't take into consideration any of these things. How these fertility issues got here. How is it that you're not able to conceive? How is it that you have poor equality and you're in your 30s? And there's women in their 40s and 50s that are conceiving healthy babies. Sometimes we got to think about this stuff. They don't want to dive into that because then that exposes the solutions. And holistic fertility is one of the solutions, which is how some women can go from struggling with infertility for years to having a baby in their 40s and 50s. So I just want to briefly touch on fertility cleanses, because this is one example of how you can use certain holistic approaches to improve your fertility. So with holistic fertility, again, it doesn't just consist of using things like a fertility cleanse. Holistic fertility, you may be it may be suggested that you do a wide range of things, and so for me, I actually have what I call Mensi, okay, where I take into consideration your mindset, your nutrition, your self-care, and your exercise level. So when I talk about fertility cleanse, that really mainly fits into like nutrition, right? And so a fertility cleanse can help you to sort of reset your body, because if you've been struggling with fertility issues, you may have a lot of blockages, you may have certain digestive issues, you may have nutritional deficiency, you may have blockages, you may not have been eating a diet that is conducive to fertility, and your hormones may be off, you may have, and a lot of times these things can sort of be reset by doing. And so fertility, in this video, I'm not going to talk all about it, but I just want to showcase it as one thing that you can do. One thing I forgot to mention is I'm actually doing a fertility cleanse series. So this is like video number 1 of this series. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe now so that way you can continue to watch videos from my fertility series and get notifications, and make sure to like the bell and all of that. I'm not going to be posting all of my videos on Instagram. I really do this as like a backup, so I don't know. I go consistent on Instagram, but they be playing me on fertility approaches, these supplements, or do this activity, or do this, or do that. We're really sort of peeling back like a lot of layers, like years and years and years of layers of sort of like poor eating habits, poor mindset. And my approach now with my fertility cleanse is really even more holistic than it was before, right? So I'm really helping you to get really into a lot of the things that are sort of doing. But in general, a fertility cleanse, it does require you to, again, eliminate certain things from your diet, to consume, encourage you to really sort of eliminate a lot of things. Some people can just do water cleanses, or what they may call water fasts. And, it can also go into like, okay, well, are you fasting? Are you cleansing? The difference really can be in sort of like the specific cleanse that you're doing. But a fast, usually you're not eating anything. Sometimes you're not drinking. Sometimes you damn near starving to death. Sometimes it can help, because you're resetting your body. But when I'm talking about fertility cleanse for fertility, you, depending on the cleanse, you can eat, and you definitely can drink, and how deep of the cleanse you do really is up to you. But I just want to plant the idea in your mind that fertility cleanse is definitely something that is a holistic approach. And again, the more holistic the fertility cleanse, the better it's going to work. Right, so fertility cleanse is usually done for a certain number of days. Okay, build up toxins in your body, and so if you are in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, we've been consuming, breathing air, exposed to different chemicals, whether it be through our clothing, makeup, hair care products, and all of these things. A lot of times they can have like an estrogenic effect that can build up in our womb, right? And so a fertility cleanse can help to really sort of extract those things out of there, extract those xenohormones and toxic chemicals and particles, sometimes heavy metals out of your body. Okay, go into bed, baby, and I will come. Go into bed and I will come. Almost done. We are almost done this video. So again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that now. Right? So, a holistic fertility cleanse, right, is also going to take into consideration your mind, body, soul. It's going to take into consideration your energy, help you to raise that energy up. All right, so making sure that you are setting your fertility off on a good foot. Because what I see sometimes is a lot of women are starting their fertility journey, but are sort of diving into like what chemical concoction I consume. Taking sometimes these, like, what is it? The little bottle with like the fish on it. The vegan version is there's a vegan version that I used to take, fluoridates, that like increases your iron, but like there's like another version of blue with the like just taking the pink liquid. I don't remember what that one is, and again, I'm not sponsoring fluoridates or anything, but it did work to improve my iron levels when they were low. And again, something like that is vegan, vegetarian, right? Whereas the drugs that I hate to say this, the drugs that my midwife gave me or prescribed me, the iron pills, little green iron pills, they didn't do me any good, right? I actually got constipation from that, so it was even worse. And my iron levels didn't really budge. But when I took the vegan, vegetarian version that she suggested to me, so we'll definitely give her credit for that. I'm very thankful for that. It worked, right? And so the holistic approaches, they work, and Sometimes they taste better, they feel better, your whole energy is raised, you know. So sometimes we just need to raise our energy and our vibration, or what we do in order to improve our fertility. If it is holistic, it can raise our energy and our vibration, and that's why I love incorporating energy and vibration. But yeah, a fertility cleanse can also, it can do that. It can also really allow you to sort of, like, I want to say this: if you do a fertility cleanse, you're not going to be the same. You're just not. If you really take this holistic approach, and you even just take one thing like a fertility cleanse or any other holistic modality, and you really practice it, you are really going to start to look at things differently. Especially if before, you know, you've been in a situation where your doctor's prescribing you drugs, suggesting surgery, and you weren't really vibing with it. Like, you didn't really feel like you needed to, you know, have a hysterectomy because you had period pain, and that's all they are suggesting to you, or you had fibroids, and the very first thing come out of their mouth is, oh, okay, well, you're booked for a hysterectomy, when they know full well that you want to have a baby. Like, this happens, right? You wake up for, you go to do surgery, and you might wake up without your womb. So you do have to be careful. These things happen. So yeah, for a holistic fertility approach, it can really sort of change your overall outlook on life. And I also want to say that, you know, once you learn how to do something like a holistic fertility cleanse, you now, it's something you can repeat. So when you want to have your second baby, your third baby, your fourth baby, you can go ahead and use some of the same tools or modalities in order to do that. And this can happen with a lot of holistic modalities. So that's what I love about the holistic approach to improving fertility, is that it is renewable, and you know, I just like it's definitely something that is more in tune with our women, as people who, as you know, we're natural. We're not meant to be given synthetic drugs and things like that in order to force our body to produce an egg, to produce 30 eggs at one time that are all fully mature. We're not meant to do that, right? So the holistic approach allows your body to also gradually increase whatever it is lacking, to gradually improve whatever it is that you need. And the whole idea of a fertility cleanse is not an overnight solution thing that a lot of women, and just not even like we just being here, you know, we are sort of, not even sort of, just being in the West here in this society and things like that, we have been sold this idea of quick fixes and overnight solutions. Fertility cleanse, holistic fertility approaches is not an overnight solution. It is not a quick fix. And just by embracing that, you are already sort of putting on your maturity cap. You know, because I feel like we're just sort of baby fed things and just allowed, that's why they call it Babylon. Okay, anyway, let me just but yeah, we're really treated in a way that sort of takes our roles, our responsibility away. Okay, so if you now realize that you have the power to affect the quality of your eggs, the state and the health of your womb, your mindset, okay, because fertility issues can cause you to be depressed. Depression could cause you to be infertile, and this could be a cycle. If you now have the power to control your spirituality and your soul, and how you sort of resonate and relate to this dispensation of time and where you are, the ability there in order to affect positive change on your fertility journey. If you are able to do things that, you know, like a fertility cleanse that can not only raise your energy and your vibration, so now you're a walking beam of light, Now people are coming to you, women are coming to you asking you how to improve their fertility, when you were once in their shoes, but now you have, your skin cleared up, your belly popping, you're fertile, and people can sense that from a mile away. They can sense that you have something that they want, right? Because you've done a fertility cleanse, you've cleansed your aura, you've cleansed your energy, and now you are a more vibrant, fertile woman. Yes. Okay. Right? If you have the power to affect all of these changes on a holistic level, then you really are, you're just not going to be the same. You're going to, we're talking about a whole different being. You can really transform through a fertility cleanse. So a fertility cleanse is not for little girls. It's not for somebody who wants to open it. And I get it. I have things where I would love for there to be a solution yesterday. I would love to be able to provide a solution, which is why I offer the yoni steams. They work fast for certain things. They really, really do. Within 1 to 2 cycles, you can clear up a lot of blockage, a lot of debris in the womb. Things like blocked tubes, you can unblock your tubes. However, if you continue to do the same thing, again, it can come right back and start building up right back. We are constantly, I want to say this, we are constantly taking on toxins, constantly breathing in polluted air, constantly exposed to things like xenohormones and things like that. So it's not even just about the buildup of toxins and chemicals in your body from the 30 years, 40 years, 50 years you've been on this planet. It's about also the daily, right? So even with fertility cleansing, like I said, there are different types of fertility cleansing. You can move on into, now you're doing like daily cleansing and things like that. But like when we're talking about fertility cleanses, I want you to be clear. I am not talking about the master cleanse or the total whole body cleanse. For a fertility cleanse is a gentle cleanse. It is a cleanse that focuses on the womb. And a fertility cleanse really is one that is going to support your overall fertility, right? So there's no need for you to want to sort of eliminate all nutrients out of your body, or to do like a dry fast or a water fast. I'm not talking about that. For some reason my Instagram's talking about it's ended. I didn't even know Instagram did this. But so if you're on Instagram, make sure to come over to my YouTube at Black Fertility or Natasha Winter on YouTube. I haven't actually changed it to Natasha Winter yet, but Black Fertility on YouTube, and make sure to like and subscribe. Alright. And so yeah, let's just share this here. Right. So that is one tool in the series that I'm going to be talking about fertility cleanses, which I'm going to be talking about. So if you want to hear more about that, make sure to subscribe. With that, I am working on some hint, and I would definitely love for you to participate. I will be giving you more details on this thing that I am working on for you. I've already, again, like I've mentioned, I've already done a fertility cleanse. It's already part of my program, my feminine fertility lifestyle program. I do have a fertility womb cleanse in that program. However, I am building out that program to make it more of a holistic experience for you. And so if you're interested in fertility cleanses, holistic fertility, please make sure to get on my email list, my wait list. I will put a link in the description so that way you can learn more about what I am working on. In the meantime, I also have a free gift for you to help you to improve your egg quality. So if you are struggling with poor egg quality, low egg quality, I have a free PDF download for you on the top 5 ways for you to improve your fertility, to improve your egg quality and fertility, of course, naturally. And so the link for that is in the description. If it's not there, I will put it there as soon as this video is done. And so, yes, make sure to find me on Instagram, like I talked about there. On Instagram, you can find me at Natasha Winter, which is my name. Or you can also visit my website, natashawinter.com, and you can check out some of the blogs I have there and some of a part of subscribe. Make sure to your friend, somebody who you know who is with infertility, equality, or consistent, and I would really appreciate that. So if you also have questions, write them in the question of my video that I made on healing womb trauma. Okay, and I would love for you to check that video out. Well, so take care and thank you. Bye bye.